So at the age of 42, I just had cataract surgery in my right eye last week. And what happens in cataract surgery is they actually go into your eye, crush the lens in the back of your eye, suck the old lens out, and then put a new lens in. And one of the benefits of having cataract surgery, because basically what happens is the lens is becoming cloudy, and you know, progressively over time you can't see very good. So one of the benefits of cataract surgery is actually basically having a new lens in your eye. Now, for someone like me, who for my entire life since I was 5 years old, I have had to wear really thick glasses or contacts that are very uncomfortable. This is actually really amazing and awesome good news, because now I don't have to wear contacts or glasses. And that to me is like totally 100% life-changing. Not to mention, I'm shooting this video in February, and since August, my right eye has been really blurry. And after the surgery, I can see clearly now with no aid of contacts or glasses. And I can actually, for the first time since August, see clearly in my right eye because it's been blurry due to the cataract. Now, the good news is, as I'm filming this right now, I'm actually gonna be having surgery done in my left eye. So very soon, I'll be able to see clearly in both eyes without the aid of contacts or glasses for pretty much the first time since I can remember, which is awesome. Now, you know, I do have to wear reader glasses to see up front, like, you know, on my phone or something like that, but it's like really thin glasses and not a big deal. So I'm getting used to this idea of seeing clearly, and it reminds me of spiritual truth. You know, for me, in my spiritual growth over the last year and a half, it's been a lot of growth, and I've experienced God in new and awesome and amazing ways. And just God's doing something really cool in my life over the last year and a half. But, you know, we're all on a spiritual journey, and I've had a lot of spiritual growth in my life. And it's really because about a year ago, what's happened is I basically came to grips with a lot of questions that I've had about God. Even though I've been in church leadership for 20 years, been in full-time ministry for over 12 years, been around church a lot, been around God a lot, and have had my journey with God since I was 19 years old. You know, for 5 years before the last year or so, it's been more like a desert than anything. And what I did about a year ago is really just go to God and say, God, look, I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of things that I've always accepted as truth, and I want to go to you with these things and be honest with myself and with you about some questions that I have, and doubts and fears and all of this stuff. And I did. And when I did and was honest with God about that, and did research and really just went to God about those things, it was the catalyst to like a lot of growth. And now I see God, I experience God on a much deeper level. And I've been aware of God's movement in my life over the last year or so, and it's just been like this awesome, I mean, if you want to just call it awakening, you know, it's been quite amazing. And I think, you know, our job as church leaders, as spiritual leaders to the people that we lead spiritually, our job is to grow spiritually. Our job is, yes, we want to lead others, but in order for us to lead others, well, we have to be growing spiritually in our lives as well. And we're going to have our ups and downs, and that's a part of our walk with God. But I just wanted to share with you some thoughts about spiritual growth, and then I'm going to relate it back to my whole eye thing, so just hang in there. And that is that two things. Thought number one is that, you know, spiritual growth isn't something that we do, it's something that God initiates, right? And when God initiates it, all we have to do, first of all, is just pay attention. You know, he'll initiate this spiritual growth, whatever it is that he wants to work on in our lives. He'll initiate it usually in the grind of life, right? But in order for us to see what God is doing, we have to like pull back. We have to pause. We have to reflect. And we have to see what and be aware of what God is doing in our life. And that just means we just need to every once in a while just say time out and then just see what God's doing and be aware of what he's doing. We need to leave space for that in our lives. And when we do that, then we see clearly what God is doing. And then really the next thing that we do is just respond to what God's doing, right? When we respond to what he's doing and then we actually do something with it, right? Then we set ourselves up for God to continue to really take that one area of our lives and grow in that area. Because spiritual life, our spiritual growth dictates everything else. It really does. It dictates everything else, right? Our relationships with our spouse, friends, families, our health, everything. Everything flows from that. So that's my spiritual thoughts or my my thoughts on spiritual growth. And here's the thing. When you grow in a particular area, when you experience over a certain period of time this spiritual growth, what happens is you see clearly, right? Now in this eye, colors, because it was so cloudy before the cataract, colors were not clear at all. And I didn't even realize it. And I didn't even realize how blurry I was seeing in this eye. But since having the surgery, I see clearly now. Colors are vibrant, crystal clear, beautiful. In our spiritual lives, when we grow in a particular area and when we really just have like this massive growth of whatever God's doing, you know what? We see clearly. We're like, man, God's been working in this area, maybe, for instance, in your relationship with your spouse or whatever. And he's working in this area on you, and then you grow in that area, and you choose to respond to what God's doing, and then you look back on it, and you're like, whoa, I can't believe I was that way. And I see clearly now. And that's really what it's all about. It's all about seeing clearly what God is doing in our life, and then responding to it. And then you know what's going to happen? Down the road, you're going to be like, whoa, can't believe I was that way. Now I'm this way. And then really, as church leaders, as people who follow Jesus, our job is to continually grow, to keep growing in our relationship with God and other people. And then when that happens, everything else just kind of falls into place. All right, so I am Nick Delaberto with Ministry to Youth. Thanks for watching this video, and hope it was helpful to you. And yes, you might be wondering, where am I at? I am actually right now on a little pier right by the lake. Guess you can't see it right now because it's kind of blurry, but it's actually very calm and it's pretty neat. So that's all I got for you this morning. Just woke up, had that thought going through my head, and oh look, you can see a little bit better there. Oh yeah, see, I like to just show you. This is the place that I go kind of on my morning walk when I pray and all that stuff. So, all right, I'm just rambling on now. Thanks for watching.